What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of At Home with Mark. Today is season 11, lucky episode number 13. And we have a monumental guest, according to our friend Tom. Do you remember when Tom said it's going to be monumental? This is Alex Auxier. Alex, thank you so much for hanging out and chatting with me today, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. It's going to be fun.
I remember when Tom said that, and you're like, I don't know how monumental it would be, but sure.
I've never been described as monumental.
Well,
Yeah.
let's prove you wrong. Let's make it monumental. So Alex, I ask everybody this question every episode as the first question because I find it very interesting. Just because sometimes you can see a path woven for people, but like, what is your earliest musical memory?
I've had one explained to me before by my mom. She said that the first time she thought that I had any interest in music was when I was like in a high chair and they were at a club that had a guy playing saxophone and I was really into it, like
Okay.
awestruck. But I think it's Dancing on the Ceiling. I think I got that tape and that was like one of the first songs I ever listened to and absorbed. And yeah, so Lionel Richie, Dancing on the Ceiling.
I have that on vinyl upstairs. I'm not even kidding. Love that record. It's great. Tell me a little bit about like as far as your upbringing and what you were listening to, because like if you had right now, if you were in your car, let's go back to the 90s and say we have like a 6-disc CD changer, right? Like if you were to think about 6 monumental records that you'd have in that changer, you know, from as early as you can remember to like now, like what's the swath of music?
So all decades?
Sure, man.
Or if
Yeah.
this was the 90s?
No. I'm just saying, like, let's go back in time and act like we have a CD player in our car, which most cars don't have now. But like, if you had like a 6-disc changer, like I had driving around in high school thinking I was hot shit, what records would have been in yours? Like to describe your life to now.
I think the best way to think about it is phases. So the first phase was pop. Like I liked New Kids on the Block, when I was like 5.
Of course.
But pop stuck with me. I still love pop music. And then the 90s were I want to say rock, but really it was like skate punk and ska. And then, after that, when I went into college, I really got heavy into like Arches of Loaf is my favorite band, and Superchunk and indie rock and Death Cab and those kinds of things. And then honestly I got more into metal and hard rock like when I first started working in the industry, and kind of all of the barriers of what I thought hard rock and metal were like faded away. So I started adding a lot of that to I also started working with a lot of artists too, and that helped me appreciate it more. But yeah, now I'm a big metal fan.
Okay.
So if there was going to be CDs, it'd probably be like a Strung Out CD, Arches of Loaf, like Stephen Malkmus.
Oh heck yeah, dude.
Yeah, like
early
Boss Tones. I love early Boss Tones, and then maybe.
Do you ever get into like Andrew Bird and any of that stuff, like that indie stuff back in like early 2000s?
Not really. I don't know. I guess I'm definitely not going to describe it in public. Though. Not for me though.
Right. Well, it's weird because like I love everything, and I know some people get into silos where they like just find the thing that they absolutely love and they stick with it. And like there's a Pearl Jam poster behind me because that's why I play guitar. I mean, I wanted to play guitar because I heard 10 in 1991. But now it's like my band is a jam band, so it's like I'm far from that. But I also grew up listening to Pantera, listening to Tool, and all this other stuff. So it's like I love everything from bluegrass to Tool. But it's interesting because like what you just described, like in the ska punk stuff, were you, so besides the Boss Tones, like Real Big Fish? Was it like No Doubt? Like, was it like Sublime? Like that kind of stuff? Or
It was more of like Skank and Pickle, and I played saxophone, so
mm.
I got really into all the stuff that was on like Asian Man Records. Yeah, if you want to crack my old email accounts, use Asian Man Records. Actually, just Asian Man, and that really confused people when I had to tell them what my password was. But yeah, all that I think Mike Park, right? That's his name, and he did like Bruce Lee Band and yeah, all that kind of stuff. I liked heavier ska, I guess you could say.
Okay.
But I also really like Mighty Mighty Boston. One of my favorite live albums of all time is their live album when they did in Boston.
I don't know that I've ever heard
Middle
that.
East.
Yeah,
it's fucking badass.
They played it at the Middle East?
Yeah.
Dang, that's a small club for them, too.
Yeah.
Comparatively speaking, because I mean, I've been there multiple times when I was living in Boston, and that's not a gigantic room. That's so crazy.
They made that live album in the 90s.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Well, all right. So now we got that out of the way. So, you know, as far as like introducing you, Alex, and what you're doing, I mean, I would think of you as like a brand ambassador. Obviously, you're doing probably, you know, work marketing for these companies that you're partnering with and you're working with. And like, obviously, I said this in, you know, the post on Instagram, but like, I've been a Stringjoy artist for 6 years, 5 years, something like that. And then they're the only strings I use. And I feel like, I wanted to ask you, like, how did you get into the industry? Like, what made you want to get into the business side of this industry? Because it's so damn hard sometimes.
Yeah, I happened into it. I was doing some stuff that was like right when I got out of college. I couldn't figure out what to do, and I got this idea to just an intern, and so I saw that Orange Amps. I found it on Craigslist. Like I found
really
the first entry to the music industry was I got it on Craigslist, and it was an internship at Orange Amps in Atlanta, and I went and applied. I mean, the application process was like, "Hey, you want to work here? Great, you work here now." And this is fun. This is how the industry I feel like works. But like that guy who hired me there was a dude named Luke Zollinger, who's the COO for Earthquaker Pedals now. And he was, you know, he and I were like, you know, I really enjoyed working with him. We had a small team, and you know, I got to learn a lot from him about sales, inside sales, and marketing and stuff. And yeah, that's how. Okay, so anyways, man, just to backtrack, I got into Orange Amps, which is my first job, through Craigslist. Yes, as an intern, I did that for about a year, and then I left to go to Europe, and they basically were already like downsizing. Like they had kind of grown it the wrong way to start. Way too many employees, you know, just like not really focused on what they needed to be doing. And so when Luke took over the distributorship in Atlanta for Orange, he was able to hire me on as like an inside salesperson. And so I started in that role. And about a year after I started, you know, we fired the artist relations guy, and I said I would do it. And so for a while, we were running all of Orange's marketing and the artist relations out of the USA office, like not even in the UK. And so the UK ended up taking some of that stuff back, but I also was able to secure the social media manager role and the artist relations manager role. And I did those from like 2010 to 2021 when I left.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, Craigslist.
That's Orange Amps in a nutshell.
Dude. Well, you know what's crazy about Orange Amps is like my first exposure, I'd played a tiny Terror at one point. I think when I was trying a guitar out in a guitar shop, and it was, you know, I liked it. It was cool, but like I played through an amp sim in Amplitude that was like an Orange amp, and I was like, oh wow, like this kind of makes me want to buy one of these amps. Like I never really knew I would like something like this. But to hear, it's so funny how backwards that is now. And some of this modeling stuff is getting so good, it's kind of scary. I was just having a conversation with somebody about that today. But for you to enter in through Craigslist and create a career out of this? Like, so you just said like kind of to the side that you went to Europe. So like, were you ever working from that, like from the UK too, like with Orange?
No, no, no. When I went there to like, travel for a bit.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
I
that
thought,
was it. And then when I came back, Orange had gone through some changes already. I did have a year where I did this really sketchy shit doing like web development for a Ukrainian company, and money was changing hands in weird ways. And then one day, nobody can pay me, and the same day that they said they can't pay me anymore, and we got a brick through a window in our Ukrainian office, was the same day that Luke from Orange called me and said, "Hey, man, do you want a job here again?" And I was like, "I do." So I literally
immediately.
walked out of one office and then went to another office.
Man. So then how long were you at Orange?
14 years.
Oh, wow, dude. Okay. And then so when did you stop working with Orange? Like how long ago? Like recently or?
Yeah, 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, I decided that I wanted to. I realized I could do it for more than one company. Like, I'm an artist relations manager. That's what I do for 3 of my 4 clients. They pay me. I'm contracted by them,
Mhm.
and I'm pretty good at that. And also, at this point, there's not a whole lot of degree of separation between me and anybody. You know, if you come to somebody and you're proactive and you want to give them free shit, like it's not that hard to usually at least get that question in front of somebody.
Right.
So that's what I do for these companies. And um, I realized that there's no reason to do that for just one company. The ceiling is usually fairly low, in the music industry, musical
Mhm.
instruments industry. Um, so I figured let me see if I can get some clients, lined up, and and give me a reason to go out on my own. And so I was able to secure some folks, and then I got myself into a really sweet house refinance situation with a super low rate. And then as soon as that went through, I got closed on my house and quit Orange. And then I launched right away with Victory amps and
Mm.
Origin effects pedals. And then shortly after, I added Stringjoy.
Mhm.
So they've been like my core clients for the past 4 years.
Nice. Scott's awesome. He's a great dude. I
Scott,
really.
the owner and founder of Stringjoy, is a very smart person, and I am very
Yeah.
sure that if I continue working with them, they will be, yeah, they're killing it.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I mean, I do nothing but tell every guitarist to buy them because it's like, what's crazy is the first time I put them on, Alex, and I just played my guitar just acoustically, my electric acoustically. I was like, holy shit. Like, it felt like there was more volume coming from the instrument. And I had never experienced that before putting those on. And then I've tried other strings since then that people like, hey, maybe you might like these or whatever. And I'll put them on and then I immediately take them off and put string joys back on because I don't feel like I'm at home unless I have those under my fingers. I really don't. It's hard to explain, but being in my 40s and playing guitar for as long as I've played guitar, I'm not willing to water down anything anymore, you know?
Good.
But yeah, but he's
No,
great.
I'm really happy to be repping them, man. They are, it's very, very, very rare that I have anybody I send those to say that they don't like them more than their existing strings. But it's not a matter of like, you know, it's not a matter of them loving them. It's always just I'm waiting for an artist rep to die, basically, because strings are something that people get very passionate about. And if you secure an endorsement early for them, then those people tend to play those strings as long as you're with that company. So
Mhm.
it like a very personal relationship, I think.
No, I agree with you, man. And I don't think in the 6 years that I played them, I don't think I've ever broken a string. And
That's
can't
very
s-
impressive.
can't say that about any other company that I won't name them here, but like I've used several different of the big brands and never once. did I not break them, and over the course of touring or whatever, always broke strings, but I've never, and I put them through the ringer too, man. It's not like the guitars aren't just sitting here, they're being used on stage too. So it's like, I can always rely on the fact that I know they're going to last and they're going to sound good too. So as we just did a Stringjoy commercial, but all right. So for Stringjoy, I can totally understand that. So Origin and Victory are both not in the United States. So how did that come about?
I don't know. For some reason, I just love working for English companies.
I don't blame
Or
you, dude.
some, I mean, I don't know. It's they, the Orange thing, basically, because Orange, has plenty of. I met plenty of other people from UK companies because of knowing Orange people.
Mm-hmm.
So, Victory, you know, Lee Anderton is involved in Victory. This has been a big point of, contention and mystery on the interwebs. But yeah, Lee is a partner in Victory, and I had known Lee and some of the people that work for Victory from Orange, and of course, the Andertons relationship. So it was a pretty easy, decision to go with them and Origin as well. Just quality companies that were smaller than Orange had become. And at the time for me, I just thought I'd like to get back to like that kind of rootsy, like I know that what I'm doing matters because the decisions are pretty much all mine and I get to help grow something again. Not that Orange isn't going to grow anymore, but like how much more can you grow in MI? Like you need to get into like pro audio and other stuff, and you got to expand your offering. And I wasn't into any of that. I like this industry.
Mm-hmm.
I like musical instruments. Yeah.
So do you still play horn?
No, I quit playing saxophone a long time ago. My son's been playing though now, so he's
That's
2
dope.
years into alto sax. I
All right.
tried to groom him to get him to play drums because like because drums is I like drums. And I taught myself how to play some drums, but I can play the kit. So like I got him into lessons ahead of going into 6th grade and got him like drum lessons and all that. And then sure enough, like he came home after doing like tryouts and he said, this alto sax is what I want to play. And I was like, okay, man. Like I wish I wouldn't have sold mine now.
Well, dude, that's kind of funny. I mean, it's like in his blood, I guess, because it's, that's not an instrument that you would normally see people gravitate towards because younger kids are probably going to want to play the drums or play guitar or play bass. You know what I mean? So that's pretty interesting that happened organically.
Yeah, my parents wouldn't let me. Just deliver straight up, like, no, you're gonna play something else, like something musical.
Right.
Like, okay. All my friends play drums. Like I'm so mad, but whatever.
So have you worked with any like percussion companies or drum kit companies at all? Like have you tried to get
No.
Okay. Is that something you want to
No, I
do?
haven't. Yeah. It's not impossible to make that, to add a client like that from a different side of MI, but it also is not as easy. They're kind of insular, like amps and guitars, drums. I guess there's horn people doing artist relations. I don't know.
Right.
I wouldn't want to do that either. But yeah, man, it's like I would love to add a drum client. It would definitely be even more up my alley than guitar.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, it is kind of difficult to snag those jobs.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting about the reason I asked that is, working in sales, obviously you got to know your product, right? That you're pushing and that you're working with people with in terms of being like the authority on it when they have questions and all that. So, like, how much of a lift was that for you in terms of like nerdy guitar gear? And like, was it already something you felt super comfortable with, like coming from Orange, or like, was there a big kind of hurdle with Orange because of that? Like, did it take you time to get to know the amps and like the terminology and all that shit?
That's a good question. The only thing that was harder about it was that when I worked at Orange, because okay, at Orange I was also the social media manager. So I was the one that actually created the Instagram account, and I was the one that created their Facebook account and like managed those things, and was the voice of them. It was kind of a different gig in that respect because I mean, I am I was rocking. I like rocking. Like I liked rocking and going out to parties, and I liked hanging out with the artists, and I was really good at buying them drinks. You know what I mean? Like that was the kind of artist relations guy I was, and and stoner too. So like it was a total vibe, and I got to be the voice of the social media. Losing that part of it was a weird identity switch, and I went back just to doing the artist relations side of it. And you find out quick that with some people, you still have plenty of worth, now that you're not with that particular company. But then you'd be surprised about how many people are just like, nah, it was all orange. It wasn't you, it was all orange. And it's like, okay, I get it. But that was impactful. And I learned a lot about myself. And I just, at that time I got way more into the the proactively selling the product. So it was a bit of a switch. I had to become a salesperson again in a way. Everybody knows what orange does, you know. Do I want this much rock? Do I want this much rock? Do I want the one that doesn't do rock at all? Or my bassist? Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, culture shift
Well, I
and
think
mind.
it's hard to like for people that don't really understand like sales because sales is such a global word like that you could throw around for what you do for a living. Like I work in sales, right? So, but like the thing that I do is also music related. So I'm very passionate about it. And it's very easy to sell something when you're passionate about it. So it's like if you don't come from a world of like being geeky about guitar pedals, for instance, like how do you get excited about it? Like how do you learn about it? How do you like steep yourself into that pool to get, to a place where you're going to exude the excitement, I guess? That's almost like what I mean. It's like because
Okay.
I couldn't do drums.
I
I
know
know I can
exactly
play the
what you're
drums.
saying.
You know.
And my my response to that is
Oh,
that
bless you.
um my response to that is that it's a lot of faking it, in a way. It's not that it doesn't interest me, it's that I'm there with like a whole different purpose. Like I can get if an artist asks me a question that would require a different level of knowledge of setup, like a hard like a board or a recording setup or whatever, and how my product interacts with that thing, or how what other drive pedal might go well with this guitar amp, that kind of thing. I have plenty of people to answer that question. I might need a second, but I'm going to get you a better answer than whatever I could give you on the fly. I've picked up plenty of stuff over the years. So it's not that it doesn't interest me. Like guitar playing does interest me, maybe more so because I can't do it very well or at all. I don't know why I said that at all. Um, and I've always had I believe that like in bands, there are personalities. And for many years, I was singing in a band and, helping write songs and, like dancing and, breaking shit on stage, like that kind of shit. And I think that that gets along really well with guitar players. So like I just naturally get along with guitarists, in my opinion. Um, but also I never approached my job like our shit like our one shared interest is going to be this one product. Like I want to help people and like see resolution to their issues. So it makes me a good person for this job because there's a lot of different personalities and there's a lot of different, I mean, and I think I'm a good personality person, and I think that I want to see things through to a conclusion, as opposed to there's some people in this industry that are pretty fucking flaky. Pretty
Hmm.
flaky, want to take lots and lots of pictures. Please get me into this. Please get me into this. Like, and that's not how you, I think, build long-term artist relations. So I think I'm not seeking a guitar connection. I'm seeking a personality connection.
Which makes sense because I feel like that's what sales is. Like my dad always used to say that it's like sales is personality. Like you could sell anything if you got a good personality, kind of thing. That makes total sense to me. Um, so well, let me while we're on this tip and we're talking about this in terms of, you know, kind of walking the walk, talking the talk. I was texting with you and I was like, I'm very interested in like probably the past 6 months I've been like dabbling in like British voiced amps because I have this bad boy and I'm an artist with that company and I friggin' love that amp. I love it to death and I love Eli to death. But I also need a British voiced amp because there's some things that I like want to explore as well that I never did. So with Victory, I've seen a lot of growth over the years, even like the past 10 years, maybe even of just how that amp company has evolved. And I know Pete pretty well. Actually, Pete's been on the show twice and was talking to him at a NAMM, I think. And he, and even my friend Buddy Blues, our mutual friend, was like, I think you probably would like the Deputy. That's like more your bag kind of thing. Cause I don't like love high gain. So for me, somebody that loves this amp, like what is a good compliment as far as Victory to Two Rock?
The closest one for one is the Victory MK Clean or the MK Overdrive.
Mm-hmm.
Those are thousands of dollars.
Right.
Yeah. But they're also the ones where we said to the designer, Martin, we said, do whatever you want, build your dream amp, period. So he spared zero expense. I mean, even the leather on this stuff, like, is I don't even deserve to look at it. So,
It's
you know
pretty
what I mean?
stuff.
Burns my eyes when I look at it. I'm like, I'm not worthy of this. But seriously, that's the closest one for one. But if you want something that's not thousands of dollars, the Deputy is a great choice. It's going to be not something that cleans up at all like this Two Rock. It's going to be something with a really great blues rock voicing and just a kind of all around general, you know, British box. So yeah, that's a good choice. You could do the Sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
The Super Sheriff, for instance, is, I mean, one of the best amps, period, that exists today. It is like taking 3 eras of Marshall and putting them into an amp. And
Oh,
actually, that amp has a special place in my heart because some of the finishing touches, as far as like the EQs, were done with Brent Hines.
mm-hmm.
You know, a couple of years ago. I mean, now at this point, but I mean, very minor stuff. But we kind of, before that amp came out, we had I've been talking to Brent and he was like, I got to get these old JMPs off the road. Like they, you know, they've got to just sit in studio. Like they, you know, and I was like, well, we're working on this Super Sheriff, you know, a redo of this Super Sheriff, and I'll bring you one down. So I brought him a prototype and he plugged it in. I mean, dude, it sounded everything like what you'd expect Brent Hines to sound like. And just a few minor changes, you know, mainly in the highs, if I recall.
Mm-hmm.
And those made it into the final, you know, amp. And it really nailed it, man. I mean, he was able to get his vintage shit off the road. That amp is, so that's a special amp, and I think that if you really do want a bunch of different Marshalls in an amp, that's it.
And we're talking a bunch of different Marshalls. We're talking like a super lead or super bass or like a JTM kind of thing, or like what's the voicing?
It's good. Yeah, it's like a JTM through to like a hot rodded, you know, late 80s, you know, pick your poison kind of situation.
Okay,
You know what
so
I mean?
like
Like
JCM 800 kind of thing.
yeah, 100%.
Okay.
It just is like it feels like everything from like 1970 to 1990, isn't it?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
See, that's too much gain for me, I think. I
Maybe.
I like here's maybe this will tickle your ears and give you an idea, but like The way that I like find my clean tone when I get on stage is I think Wind Cries Mary. And then I base my clean tone off of that Wind Cries Mary thing. And then I basically use overdrive pedals to get above that, obviously, or boost pedals just to boost that tone. If I want something a little bit like warm and like punchy. But anything like above that, like that super high gain thing, like that's not me. It's more like that Hendrixy as heavy as I get, probably.
Are you good with something in the 20-watt range?
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, this amp is 40-20, and I usually, when I'm playing in clubs, I put it on 20 watts.
I know that if Buddy sees this, he would say, stop being an idiot and listen to me. But we've come full circle back to Buddy's recommendation of a deputy is spot on. Spot on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, every time I've heard that amp and then just like hearing Pete play through it on the Andertons channel, I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. So there's a lot in there. And that digital reverb seems pretty friggin' great, man. Like,
it's definitely one of the best that I've ever heard.
Man, that's a tall order. Wow. Okay.
It is, because a lot of them are really bad. But I think that, I can't remember, did we put one in an orange amp once? I think we did. I mean, just the one that came in like the Crush series.
Oh, I remember those amps.
Oh, wait, no, the Crush was spring. The higher Crush. Dude, I got to do a refresher on my own fucking Damn.
You don't have to right now. You don't have to worry about those amps anymore.
No, I'm good. But yeah, they haven't put out that much different stuff. You know, I mean, they've put out the OR30. By the way, the OR30 sounds awesome. And I think more importantly, we asked and died. We were begging for that amp for years. Like, please finish this amp so that we could sell this amp, because we had, I don't know, there was a period of time where I really felt like it was losing its cool. They managed to sustain that coolness. They've done a good job of that.
Yeah. Well, isn't like Marcus King playing through Orange like for a while?
Marcus King is, and rest in peace, Pat Foley. Pat Foley was the Nashville artist relations guy for Orange, and he was sitting in his space in Nashville, and Marcus King randomly walked in and was like, I want to play some of these. And then Pat Foley, who was Gibson's artist relations guy for years, was responsible for like the Jimmy Page signature. Pat Foley had like number 2 or number 3 or something of that signed. But regale Marcus King with stories of the like that, and it was immediate connection, dude. And yeah, he was really good for Orange, man. Marcus King was a great signing.
Yeah, he's great. Well, then, so as far as working with like Mastodon and everything, obviously RIP there too. But like, I know obviously when I got to know Tom, he was talking about 311 and talking about Tim possibly using some Victory stuff. Like what's the Mount Rushmore of like people that you want to get some of this gear in their hands? Because there's probably so many artists out there that are so stuck in their ways with the gear that they have. How do you break through the wall? Like, you got to be like the Kool-Aid man and just crash through and like, we got to try this, man.
It's hard, man. It's harder than ever because I don't have, I don't have a Helix. I don't have a Helix. I don't have a fractal something. I don't have any of that shit, man. And I would not turn it down. But I think that's actually where you get into the territory of like, maybe I would need to get more technical to really rep that. But, it is harder than ever to get like big artists. I think that with amps, it's really hard. I've got stuff out. Getting 311 was dope. That's awesome. And I have 311 stories. I was in a 311 band. It was, I have hardcore. I was hardcore 311. So one day I woke up and they had tagged me on Instagram. Not tagged me. They had done a collaboration post with my personal account, and I was like, I think this might be the pinnacle. Like high school me would shit his pants. So, but it's so with amps, really hard to get big artists. I'm super lucky when I do. Bill Kelleher, Brent Hines, always, always have given me a chance with everything I've done. They've always given me a chance, and luckily the Victory thing worked out well with them. And Bill has been spreading the word, at festivals and shit, to artists that I couldn't. So I've got stuff with Korn right now, like Head's using it. Head the entire summer for the last like 6 or 7 months. Head has been using Super Krakens. So, and that's cool. But again, I can say that to you right now. I don't have a video and a photo. I don't have any of that to prove it. Those kinds of situations are few and far between. With pedals, way easier. Pedals and strings, so friggin' easy. Strings especially, you can spread that shit around all day long. We just got Ed O'Brien from Radiohead for Stringjoy. Like,
really?
Yeah, dude. So,
yes,
yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and I have a quote. His quote is hilariously, it's exactly what you'd expect Radiohead to. They ship him 100 packs of strings. You get a quote that says, "These strings are awesome," but it doesn't matter because I could still say he uses them, and that's really all you have to. That's all you have to do.
Oh, that's a big get, man. That's awesome.
It is, man, and again, that's through a guy who does a lot of repairs in the UK. He works on Ed's guitars. He was restringing Ed's guitars with our Broadway strings, and he was like, "I like these a lot." I was like, "Okay," so got me in touch with his tech and get that shit locked down. It happens. It's going to happen more with strings than it will with any of the other brands. But with Origin Effects, that's like a Ferrari of pedals. That's been pretty easy to do as well. I mean, the first thing that we did, like with a week I started at Origin, was we got a quote from Tony Iommi for one of their pedals. It wasn't even me doing it. I just like closed it, but I was like, that's a good start. Like,
yeah, man. That's killing, dude.
But yeah,
I haven't played any of their pedals, any of Origin stuff, but I've always wanted to. I play slide, so I've always wanted to try the slide rig. I should probably just try it one day.
Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore, but the stack.
Oh, it doesn't.
Comp does.
Oh, okay,
and that's essentially the same thing.
Okay, and then I know Joey uses the what's the Fender style overdrive.
Joey's got a few, I think, but
yeah. Oh God, what the hell?
He's got a comp. He's got a
I can't remember.
drive, maybe. He's got a.
Oh yeah. Yep, that's what it was.
61, I think.
Yeah, that one, the deluxe one. I think I went early to a sound check and he was showing it to me. He's like, check this shit out. And I didn't know. And I think there was a pedal that was about to come out because I was shooting, like, I do a rig rundown on my channel, but it's called Gear Gab. And I was doing it with him. And he's like, you can't show this. Like, when's this coming out? Because this one pedal's not out yet. And I don't think it might have been the deluxe. Can't remember, but damn, it sounded good. I was like really impressed as far as how beefy and like rich the overtones. It sounded like an amp. It sounded like the overtones from an amp. And and I know that.
I'll tell you one thing, man. The designer Simon spends more time designing pedals. I mean, it's hardcore.
Yeah.
A good example is this Bass Rig 15 that we just launched. So like the bass rigs are really accurate, recreations of. We've got a SVT, a Showman, and now a B15. So these are really accurate recreations of these amps, and that Bass Rig 15 has something like 500 or 600 components in it.
What?
Yeah. I mean, it's no fucking around. Like, it is the most hardcore pedal designs, in my opinion, that exist.
And I think
getting into like digital stuff.
And I think this is where we can justify prices of pedals too, because the amount of time and energy that it takes for someone to put that stuff into a pedal and then have it work at the end of the day.
Real number. In the 4 years that I have repped Origin Effects, I have had 8 pedals come back from artists.
Damn, that's pretty good, man.
It's incredible.
Wow, that's really impressive. Dude, I tried to, my buddy tried to teach me how to solder, and I like did like a fuzz kit. His worked, mine didn't at the end of the day. I'm like, this shit is not easy. Like, it is not as simple as people think. And, I'm
It's
not
harder to
super,
get creative with it. That's the hardest part about it. How do
I
you
know.
actually make something new? And Origin stuff, when we came out with like a Klon and a Blues Breaker and a Tube Screamer, it wasn't just a Klon, a Blues Breaker, and a Tube Screamer. Yes, in my opinion, they sound just like the OG versions of all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the most accurate recreation possible, but then also would put adaptive technology. So like when you turn down, you don't lose anything, like that kind of stuff, and like who else did that? Nobody did that. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're a pleasure to work for, man. There's a few other companies that I would love to get on board, dude. I love Strymon stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Helix stuff is awesome. Like watching people mess around with that, like and trying to wrap my head around it, but like the sounds that it creates. There's no question it's the future, man, but it'll be really interesting to see how far we go down that rabbit hole before we do like the vinyl resurgence thing. Like, will there be a tube amp resurgence where people go, oh shit, this is starting to sound stale. Like, let's get back to
Yeah.
analog.
Do you
Or maybe
think
it'll just be like solar flares will knock out your ability to use digital processing. And then the
hopefully
things
not.
that'll work. Yeah.
Do you think what's your opinion on this? So like with the Helix stuff and with all the digital modeling stuff, I hear a lot of people talk about how things become obsolete after a little while. Like technology improves, blah blah blah. Whereas that technology has been here for how long now, and it's still freaking great. And that I don't think this will ever become obsolete, really, unless we talk. But like, what about the digital stuff? Do you think you can see it becoming like, oh, now I got to buy the next thing, and that becomes a hurdle for people?
There's things that I don't see. There's no reason to believe that the technology of digital modeling is going to take off any more than it is currently taking off. You know what I mean? It's not you would have to capitalism, you know what I mean? Requires in this particular instance, like the product evolution would need to occur at a faster rate if more people gave a shit about it. You know what I mean? If more people were doing it and using it. And so like our things does go slower. And I think that's probably kind of a good thing. It takes a lot of time to get. I mean, how much better can you get something to sound than as good as an amp sounds?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what other kind of things are you going to add to that are going to like drive the technology forward? So I think we're on a bit of a slower train to evolution town.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it's like it's very intriguing to me. I mean, the Helix Stadium that just came out, that thing seems like light ages ahead of where I saw Line 6, for instance, when I walked into a room at school and there was a spider that you had to plug into. You know what I mean? Like a Line 6 spider. So like the technology and the modeling has come so far, and it seems so user friendly, because I'm the kind of guy that is like, I don't want a bunch of knobs and I don't want to have to like deep dive to get a sound. And this new way that they're doing it seems so intuitive, which is why it's more appealing to me.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, the things that you have to improve on that, what's left to improve really, I mean, getting the tone to sound lifelike, that's a constant struggle. The presence is always kind of slightly missing if you're an asshole like me who's like, oh, I can tell. But like but the intuitiveness, the sound of it, the connectivity, like the way that it interacts with other things around it to make it easier for all parts of, especially when you get into like touring rigs and stuff, like how does this interact with front of house? How does this interact with every little bit down to like, maybe everything could be a one-stop shop. The more one-stop shop you get, the further away you get from playing guitar, I feel like. But
yeah,
you know what I mean? But like, that's not to shit on it. I just think that, there are things to improve, but at the same time, like there will be a point at which people go, it can't. How can it possibly ever sound as good as a real amp in front of you?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't think it can. I think you just have to outweigh the benefits of whatever pod like thing you use against, expensive, huge amp.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think the consistency, and if you're playing in in-ears and if you want consistency every night, like I know there's a touring guitarist with a big band in the UK that he started using quad Cortex stuff, and I hit him up. I was like, "How's it gone?" And he was like, "It's like it's great, but like I did have an issue one night, and like I never had issues when I was just using like a black panel, like Fender kind of thing."
Different
And
kinds of issues.
right, yeah,
You definitely have issues using a black panel, but you
right.
different kinds of issues.
But it's something someone can tangibly get in there and change a tube or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, and I think that's what appealing and not appealing is like the consistency of the tone. Obviously, each night, if you got your, set up your scenes, you got the same amps, same tones, save everything. It's the same every night. But then I'd be worried, like they're on tour and they're getting tossed around or whatever. Like, what little gremlins are inside there keeping things together, that it's going to work every night. I don't know. I don't know what the risks, I guess, are with it.
Tough call. I think that what we have left to do in the amp industry, as far as the evolution, is to make them easier to operate. You know what I mean? And easier to fix. Like it's probably going to be a transition point where guitar techs, they know they're more like basically computer scientists. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Than they are an actual like guitar and amp techs. And then it'll probably come back full circle. Like if you want a real buy it for life scenario, buying the newest Helix is probably not it. What would be the new? You'd want that 2-rock that's behind you because at the end of the world, that's what people are going to be playing in their cave orgy, and they're not going to be playing the Helix. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like
yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, that's the
my
thing
view of the end of the world is
orgies in caves with amplifiers around the room.
Yeah.
It's like eyes wide shut, but there are amplifiers lining the walls, and there happens to be power in the cave. But I think what's weird is I love tube amps, and I always will. Dude, I have an old PV. There, like you can't probably see it, but right there.
Nice.
That's my first amp. That's the actual amp, like from 7th grade. And there are still things, now granted, that's solid state, but like there are some things that even these like shitty student amps, they do a thing, and like
Queens of the Stone Age?
yeah. Well, that's not a decade, that's a Rage 108. But still, I mean, I think there's a thing that certain amps do. And I think that I don't know, the authenticity of modeling, I think sometimes maybe can't fully capture, even if you have a capture element in your thing like a quad Cortex. I don't think it truly does. The ones and zeros don't really capture that feeling of being in the room, like you said, with it.
They can't. They currently can't.
Yeah. What is the highest? So as far as Victory, is the highest watt amp 100 watts, or is there 150 watt head?
There's no 150 watt amp.
Okay. I felt like there was something that was like
oh, this is embarrassing.
Jerry Garcia-esque volume. But okay, so last thing I wanted to ask you, as far as all the people that you have worked with, right? So we talked a little bit about that, like working with Mastodon, now working with 311, the Mount Rushmore of these artists that you get to work with, and you're talking about the younger you freaking out and being super stoked on working with these people. But what's the Mount Rushmore of yet to be?
What do I want to happen?
Yeah. What is the like Christmas of future come to pass kind of thing? Like who is the white whales? Like whether it's band or artists that you're currently trying to get in touch with?
I really want Adam Clayton to try the Bass Rig 15.
Okay. Who's Adam Clayton? I don't know that name.
Is you two, dude.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't have a Mount Rushmore, honestly. Um,
You don't lay in bed thinking, I'm gonna try to get in touch with this person tomorrow. Like,
no, I don't. So much of my job now is not that at all. Like, so much of my job is just, um, yeah, I don't know. Have you guys seen Creator Marketplace?
mm-mm.
Okay, it's like the Meta Creator Marketplace. So Scott from Stringjoy actually showed me this because he was like, "You need to use this," and I was like, "Yeah, you're damn right I do." So basically, you go to Facebook and you go to like your Facebook marketing area or whatever, like where you do, buy social advertising and all that stuff. And there's just like a searchable database now of all of the creators across Facebook and Instagram and all of their stats, their most recent stats, if they're good at hooks, if they're, all this other stuff. It's searchable by, guitar lessons, age, demographic, all that kinds of stuff, man. And that is so much of my job now. Um, and there's so many artists. Like it's not, when I started doing it in 2007, it was like, what's the hot shit right now from people that are playing guitar? And it was, like pop punk and stuff like that. Like that was easy to figure out. Um, and now it's like it's a very random playing field where like I'm trying to get new creators all the time, try to get them before they turn that point where they, start charging. No, I'm just kidding.
Mm.
No, but for real though, man, I mean, it really is like it's not the same thing anymore. So I don't think about big scores. I think about um, just like a nice variety of people who have dedicated audiences, and I think that's mainly because like none of these companies, very few of these EMI companies are really spending a bunch of money on any particular artist to promote them, to an audience these days. Like it's not like back in the day when I bought $5,000 Guitar World full page ads and put Jim Root in there for 4 months at a time. Like it's not
Mm.
that anymore. So yeah,
It's
that's a
interesting.
depressing answer, is it? Um, friggin' ACDC.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay.
I want ACDC. Yeah.
I'll take that. Yeah. Well, it's. I think it's not a depressing answer. I think it's reality. That's what the thing is like a lot of people probably think your job is all glamorous and you get to like hang out with all these rock stars all the time. I'm like, no, it's a business. Like you have to be tracking numbers and be good with that stuff and know what's going on as far as like in the industry and like what are the trends right now, blah blah blah. Like you got to like follow all this stuff to make things relevant, right? Um
Yeah, and
so
that's getting harder and harder. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It is becoming harder and harder, and I rely on people to tell me sometimes what's
Mm.
cool. But I tell you what, man, like I can't. I have a really hard time going out to concerts now, like especially bands that are playing downtown Atlanta on a Wednesday night and start at 10 p.m. Like
I get you, dude.
I'll endorse them, but like I can't. I have nothing in common now, so
Mm.
it's all business.
Dude, I get it. I get it. Alex, I had a gig Saturday night and it was ended at midnight and my wife was like, "Well, you're going to have to drink a Coke." I was like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, I am probably. It's true."
it's true.
I should have been I was like should have been in bed when we started, you know what I mean? But it's funny, but it's true. It's not depressing. It's like what your job is. It's like that's what you signed up for, right? So,
Yeah, it
um
is.
but you seem
And
stoked on
I
it still.
I do like new music a lot. One of my favorite bands is Mama. I
I
don't
don't
know if
know
you're
them.
familiar with them or not, but like they what this awesome shit happened like within the last few years where all of a sudden all of the young kids are wearing baggy jeans and are listening to music that sounds like it was made in the 90s,
Yep.
and I'm here for that. Like that is what I wanted.
Yeah.
It
I
must be
know.
like the first time that somebody born in like 1955 heard Scissor Sisters and was like, "Oh shit, this is like the 70s." Like,
Yeah, man.
you know.
I
So
know.
it feels great. So if you want like throwback, like Jawbreaker era 90s music, listen to Mama.
Okay. I'll check it out. I mean, I was listening to Jeff Buckley today in the car taking my daughter to school, and she's like, Jeff Buckley again. I was like, this is my life, man. I grew up on this shit. And now it's like coming back in style. You know what I mean? It's funny,
I do
man.
like Jeff Buckley, by the way.
Dude, that record. Did you watch that documentary about his life?
Yeah, it's
so hard.
Yeah, it's no wonder they make music like that. The quality of music is almost always, an exact. I don't know the word for it. What's the term? Where it's if your life sucked, your music's great.
Oh, right. Yeah. It's like Elliott Smith and, all these other cats. Like, I still don't understand. I really wanted to understand what happened and how he drowned. And like, I get the whole thing with that aqueduct and how there was like undertow pulling out to, the ocean and stuff, and how he was in his clothing and that pulled him down. I'm like, and they said he only had a level of alcohol of 1 beer in his system. So he wasn't like inebriated or on drugs. I'm like, what happened, man? Like, can you imagine if he was still alive right now making music? Oh,
yeah, he'd probably like be doing a friggin' Trump rally or something, man. Who knows? You don't know.
I hope
you don't know
not.
how your heroes are going to turn out anymore.
Oh, God.
The best ones, I'm convinced the best ones need to go early so that we don't ever have to create another narrative for them. We could just,
dude. It's when I went to see Pearl Jam last fall, and Eddie, of course, this is before the election, and Eddie, of course, said stuff, and I was like, when I was younger, I was like, oh God, stop getting on the pedestal, just play music. But now I'm like, hell yeah, man! Like, tell people what's up. And there's like people around me like, boo, and I'm like, do you not know this band? Have you not been listening to them since the 90s? Do you not know how they politically lean? Are you surprised by this? Like, come on, man.
I think people expect people to grow the same way that they did or something.
Oh God. It's so funny.
A lot of these rockers haven't Beach Boys themselves yet.
Oh God. All right. So Alex, let's do the lightning round get down, man, so I can get you out of here. Dude, thank you so much for your time. This was so cool to talk to you about this stuff. It's really interesting, and I appreciate it.
You're a great conversationalist. So
well,
pleasure.
Thank you. I'm going to put on a metronome at 112 BPM for a little bit of sizzle in the top so we can create some tension here. I'm going to ask you 10 questions. This is a this or that situation. And you can explain your answers if you want to, but you do not have to. You can blow right through if you want. All right. So this is always my first question. Lennon or McCartney?
Oh, McCartney.
Zildjian or Sabian?
Zildjian.
Window seat or aisle seat?
Aisle seat.
Oh, we got Thanksgiving this week. So stuffing or green bean casserole?
Stuffing.
Foosball?
From the South, so both of those, but
yeah, I know, right?
A good stuffing. Give me some stuffing, like a little spice in it, with like jalapeno stuffing with some like giblets or whatever.
Ooh, so hold on a second here, because I love spicy stuff. My wife's not a huge fan, but like in the South, is Thanksgiving dinner technically spicy? Often?
No.
Oh, it's not? Oh, okay.
No.
It's pretty white bread.
And also, I grew up here, but like all my family members are Midwest, so
okay,
different. Yeah,
because I'm like,
we eat cranberry out of the can.
Out of the can. We do too. All right, foosball or pool?
Pool.
Jimmy Page or Jimi Hendrix?
Oh, God, Jimi Hendrix.
Turkey or ham?
Ham.
Okay. Clip-on tuner or floor tuner? As somebody who worked for pedal companies.
Floor tuner.
Okay. Most people are like, don't you put a clip on that headstock, you dummy. Indiana Jones or Han Solo?
Han Solo.
All right, and here's the last one, Alex. Sometimes it's the hardest, sometimes it's the easiest. If you could take one album and erase it from your memory, just so you can go back and experience it for the first time again, what album would that be?
That's really hard.
I know.
The first thing that came to my mind was Stop Making Sense.
Ooh. Okay. Okay.
Um,
We can run with
and
that.
so, yeah, I'll go with Stop Making Sense. But there's, oh my God. The best live album of all time by any band ever is Yanni Live at the Acropolis. So I'd potentially choose that.
Okay.
I
All
also
right.
just wanted everybody to hear me say Yanni Live at the
Yanni.
Acropolis.
Dude, so out of 300 episodes, I don't even know how many I've done now, but close to 300, if not 300. I don't think anyone has ever mentioned the Talking Heads, surprisingly. Even Remain in Light. I haven't heard that once from anyone. And that's the one record that I do like. I'm not a huge Talking Heads fan, but that's the one record I'm like, that record is from start to finish a masterpiece. It's amazing. All right. Well, you just made it.
What would you? Hey, what's your favorite concert ever? What's the best concert you've ever seen?
Oh, that's really hard. Well, I saw Paul McCartney at Fenway Park. And
it's pretty dope, man.
that's pretty good. So when I was living up there, it's really funny too, because I was in school when my wife was working. So I wasn't working other than being a student employee at the time, but we were both 27, 28. And she came home from work and she's like, I think there's a concert at Fenway tonight. Because we lived very close to Fenway Park. Like we could walk there. And I was like, looked it up. I was like, holy shit, Paul McCartney's playing there tonight and tomorrow night. And she was like, let's walk over there and just sit on the curb outside. So we like went over and just sat on the curb and listened. And then we went home and she's like, we're buying tickets. I don't care. She's like, if it's the same show tomorrow night, I don't care. We're getting tickets. And we were broke at the time. So I think we spent $280. And that was a lot at the time. That was like 2008, maybe.
Yeah.
And we were like young.
With inflation, that's the equivalent of spending like what, $200K now?
Probably. But man, yeah, I would say that's probably one of the best concerts. But dude, I saw him twice. I saw him in Baltimore. He played at Camden Yards, and I got to know his publicist. And she's like, I can get you tickets for the show if you want to go. And I was like, okay, so that'd be awesome. So we got tickets. We didn't know we were sitting. We picked them up at Will Call, and we went into Camden Yards in Baltimore, which is the Orioles where they play ball. We kept walking down, and every usher was like, oh, you're over there. And we just kept going down and down and down. And we were 8th row dead center. And
that's awesome.
So that's probably the best concert. I was that close. That was amazing. And it was free. And I was like, holy shit. Like, never again in my life will I ever experience this. What about you?
Radiohead at Bonnaroo.
Ooh, was that the first Bonnaroo?
No, that was the probably fifth or sixth Bonnaroo.
Okay.
That's the only Bonnaroo they ever played. There were people having sex around me.
What's up with the orgies around you?
There was an entire, I don't know, but that's a real thing. There was an entire game of like frisbee going on behind me, like a ultimate frisbee. It was very strange. And that, according to them, they've said that it's their favorite concert they ever played. And
really?
You can see this really bad version of it online on YouTube. It's still up there. I think Radiohead put it out on their own thing, but like, I've never seen that many glow sticks. I've never seen people having sex around me. I've never seen, but I've also never felt that ecstatic. Like it was the best concert I've ever seen. So
that's pretty amazing.
That would have been 2006.
Oh, so right in Rainbow's kind of era.
Before it came out, I think.
Yeah. Did they play a bunch of shit off of that?
Ton of it. Almost all.
Oh, dang. Whoa, dude. Man, you remember the Tibetan Freedom Concert? Did you ever hear about that thing in DC? So I was there when Radiohead played, and that's right when OK Computer came out. And I had never really listened to them until that night. And I remember being with my girlfriend and being like, dude, these guys are like the Pink Floyd of our generation. Like, this is amazing. But yeah, I will never forget that. That's, man, so many good concerts, dude. It's crazy. Woo. Well, do you have anything to like plug or anything that, you know, are you going to be anywhere and like do you go to like NAM and Hobnob there and stuff every year?
Yeah, I'll be at NAM, and if you see me there, please don't talk to me.
All right, do not talk to Alex. Walk in the other direction.
Unless you want to hire me. And then I'm there. No, actually, you know what I do? One of the main reasons I'll be at NAM is because I also have this client called Buy or Borrow Music, and they're worth mentioning because if you have anybody that listens to your show that is interested in a subscription service where you pay a flat monthly fee, but you're able to access like a library of gear that you can borrow.
Oh yeah.
Instead of just straight up buying it. You can also buy it too, but it's a really interesting thing, man. And the thing that got me interested in it was that they weren't doing it in a way like, do you remember Pedal Genie?
Yeah, I subscribed to it for a little bit and I hated it.
Massive piece of shit.
Yeah.
Right. Bad customer service. Shit would show up. It'd be broken, whatever, man. Like, so there's like definitely things you can do in that realm that like aren't shitty. And one of them is that you can pay the manufacturers for things that they're that when they're being borrowed. So like the thing that really connected with me was that like I got them in with Victory and I got them in with Origin. Stringjoy sells through Buy or Borrow, but like with Origin, send them some pedals. Those pedals go out and get borrowed, and I made money while they were being borrowed, and then I also made money if they sold. It's such like so.
That's cool.
It is cool, man, and it can increase your profit margin. The other thing that it does is that it doesn't require you as a buyer to like have to pony up, get a credit card, like put things on credit card, return them, lie about why you're returning them, that whole thing. And then also as me as a manufacturer, dude, I remember the first time that I got an entire pallet of broken orange gear back from Sweetwater Guitar Center, and it just said like, and then an email at the same time that said credit us for this. And it's like there's no repair notes. 90% of it's not actually broken. It was just purchased and then returned because people tried it and decided they didn't want it. So like I love this concept. I wanted to shout that out.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, 100%. Buy or Borrow Music is awesome. Also, we're doing mystery boxes.
Ooh, that's rad, man.
Two tiers. We got Earthquake or Origin, DBA. We got Voltec, like some pretty badass companies that are involved.
That's killer, dude.
Yeah.
When did that start? Like when did they?
A couple weeks ago, we started selling the boxes.
Okay. When did the company originate? Like when was this?
Oh, about 3 years ago.
Oh, okay. I'm surprised. I never heard about that. That's super cool. Okay. I will I'll put a link. I'll see if I can find a link and put that in here when this goes up on YouTube, which it will as soon as we close this. So, but that's pretty sweet, dude. Awesome.
Yeah, man.
Alex, dude, thank you so much again for hanging out and chatting with me. Everybody else, thank you for stopping in. Yeah, hang out for a second, Alex. Everybody else, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. See you next time.